Who's the man? I'm the man. Kiss the boy in the room. Who's the man? I'm the man.
You voted for it, and now it has arrived. Change begins now.
Starmer, you've been in power for long enough to have fucking made a change, mate, and all you've done is make this country worse.
Has there ever been a bigger liar than Keir Starmer? You know, the one that says things on purpose.
Have you noticed how Labour are now the party of the lovers? The avocado on toasters, you know, they like nibbling that, don't they? They also like smelling the red wine before they pour it and guessing the year.
I'm sick to death of hearing about Keir Starmer for the last 10 months. He has brought nothing but fucking hell for everybody who lives in the UK, who's trying to get by. He's ripped everybody off, everything's skyrocketed. He's spending money left, right and centre. When's enough? Enough.
Boys and girls, it's official. Keir Starmer is officially the most hated man in all of England. He's the current Prime Minister and head of the Labour Party of England. But prior to that, he was a human rights defence lawyer, you know, spending his time defending the most heinous crimes like terrorism and sexual assault, making sure that these individuals are not deported from England.
Do not let anybody tell you that our Labour government are nothing but liars and making things up on the spot.
Either they are pathological and liars, or they're completely deluded. I'd actually say both. I'd say Keir Starmer knows exactly what he's saying. He's a defence barrister, isn't he? So he's just defending his position, regardless of whether it works for you or me. He's defending Keir Starmer's position, and he's defending Rachel Reeves' position because she looks up to him like a little baby sparrow waiting for its worm.
Oh God. Voting for the Labour Party was arguably one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made in my life.
Welcome back to Brit Rants, where we say what everyone's thinking, but no one on morning TV will admit. Let's talk about Sir Keir Starmer, the man who promised honesty, hope and change, and now seems to be doing the exact opposite. The man who once said he'd fight for working people now dodges every question like a career politician in autopilot mode. The man who built his image on trust, now accused of breaking pledge after pledge, leaving even lifelong Labour voters asking, what does he actually stand for? Because let's be honest, it's not just the Tories who've lost the people's trust. Britain's stuck in this endless cycle of disappointment, where every new promise sounds like a rerun of the last lie. Workers can't afford rent, NHS staff are quitting, young people can't see a future, and yet somehow politicians are too busy polishing their image to fix the system. So hit that subscribe button, because today on Brit Rants, we're cutting through the party spin and asking, is Keir Starmer really the answer to Britain's problems, or just another polished liar selling broken promises in a red tie?
Alexa, translate Keir Starmer, carrot, coffee bean 100.
Okay, but which language do you want me to translate to?
Welsh.
Keir Starmer, carrot, coffee bean 100 in Welsh is Keir Starmer fa coffee moron cant.
Thank you. That was simple, wasn't it?
I'm sick to death of hearing about Keir Starmer for the last 10 months. He has brought nothing but fucking hell for everybody who lives in the UK, who's trying to get by. He's ripped everybody off, everything's skyrocketed. He's spending money left, right and centre. When's enough? Enough.
You voted for it, and now it has arrived. Change begins now.
I did not come into politics to raise taxes on working people. This budget raises taxes by £40 billion. Labour will not put up your income tax, national insurance or VAT. We will increase the rates of employers' national insurance by 1.2 percentage points to 15% from April 2025.
She'll tell me that she doesn't get out of bed till midday because she didn't turn the heating on. That's an awful position to put a pensioner in.
Week Parliament votes on his plans to stop most pensioners claiming the winter fuel payments.
We need a proper plan for growth, and that's what the Labour Party has set out.
Look at these bars. More borrowing in every single year of the forecast horizon. Taking on more debt. It's raising taxes considerably.
Bus fares will go up by the end of this year, a cap of £2. That is going to rise to £3.
Boys and girls, it's official. Keir Starmer is officially the most hated man in all of England, with a current 26% approval rating. And for the Americans out there, he's the current Prime Minister and head of the Labour Party of England. But prior to that, he was a human rights defence lawyer, spending his time defending the most heinous crimes like terrorism and sexual assault, making sure that these individuals are not deported from England. But, currently he is trying to force farmers to sell their assets with this new inheritance tax that he's trying to enforce on them, while at the same time he's meeting up with BlackRock, saying that he wants to partner with BlackRock, which is the largest private asset management company in all of the world. So basically what we're looking at is a land grab. So he's trying to get farmers to sell their land to this private asset management company, which is now, going to screw us all over in the long run. But my people have band together to petition for a general election, and I've never been prouder of my people. Keep going, guys.
The UK is officially a dictatorship under Keir Starmer's Labour government. Let me explain. So we're all aware by now of the digital IDs, the crackdown on free speech, the Online Safety Act, and the Children's Wellbeing in Schools Bill, all being implemented in an attempt to control every aspect of our lives. Well, now the UK government are taking it one step further and pushing for total dietary control. They started recently by forcing Nando's to stop refillable soft drinks. Then just the other day, they introduced carbon score allowances to sandwiches, which insinuates that when the digital IDs begin rolling out, you won't even be able to choose what you eat if it exceeds what the government deemed to be too bad for the environment. And now there are even reports of the Labour government banning birthday cakes for kids at nurseries. Now, I'm all for healthy living. I live very healthily myself. But what makes the government think they can dictate what your kids eat in general, let alone on their birthdays? This is the exact totalitarian control I warned everyone about. The digital IDs were never about immigration. They're about your finances, your freedoms, your lifestyle choices. And the minute you decide to sign up for one is the exact same minute that you decide to sell yours and your future generation's souls to the government. I'm personally going to continue fighting this, so if you're with me, drop a follow and let's build a community capable of doing it together.
Oh God. Voting for the Labour Party was arguably one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made in my life. I promise you. I wish I never voted for them. I should have voted for Conservative.
Have you noticed how Labour are now the party of the lovies? The avocado on toasters, they like nibbling that, don't they? They also like smelling the red wine before they pour it and guessing the year. Yes, and they're all slapping each other's backs, aren't they? And they're all into this sort of, celeb lovey brigade, whilst the real working class struggle and pay the price for it. What we've had under this most disgusting government are, they told pensioners they'd have to freeze a bit, taking their winter fuel allowance away. We then have now heard unemployment's starting to go through the roof again. No surprise there. Tax. Yeah, they say they're not increasing taxes. I just can't understand anyone that believes that claptrap. And the optimism in the country right now is pretty dire. I don't know if you agree with me or not. Do let me know down below. The only party right now for the working class, I'm sorry guys, I'm going to say it, is Reform UK. Well, why am I going to apologise? I'm not going to apologise for a party that actually pioneers the needs of the working class. And don't come back to me with all this, the NHS, they'll privatise it. The NHS is in a dire state. If you think it's getting better, it's not. And also, if you want your borders protected, well, that ain't happening either, is it? So listen, yeah, I am championing Reform UK. And I have to say, right now, I'm proud to.
Who's the man? I'm the man. Keir's the boy in the room. Who's the man? I'm the man. Oh, hello. You're right. Hi, Keir, mate. You're right. Just wondering, how much was it you were planning on spending on that new logo update for gov.uk? We've just been wondering over in the office. Who's the man? I'm the man. Sorry, I got distracted there. I don't know, £500,000. Yeah, 500 smackaroonies, 500 grand, mate. 500 grand. Get it down, get it done, get it boxed off. Let's do it. Well, yeah, you're the man. You're the boss. Okay, we'll go and £500,000. Well, yeah, I'll go and tell them. See you in a bit, kid. All right, we've come back. They've said they'll do it for 500 grand. They've taken the offer. They didn't even try and barter or anything. I wonder why. Okay, cool. Report back to me once they've finished the logo. Okay, see you in a bit, pal. Off you pop, off you go. Who's gone? Okay. Who's the man? Keir's the boy. I'm the man. And hi, they've actually already finished the logo. I know that was pretty quick. I know. Blasted, that was very quick. How did they? Anyway, well, go on, have at it. What have we got? So they've raised the dot a bit and changed the background to blue. Oh, okay. Well, not sure that's worth £500,000, but that's not the best. The crown looks a bit different as well. Okay. Yeah, I see that does look a little bit different. Brilliant. Good work, boys. Give him a pat on the back, I say. The taxpayer thanks you. Do you not think we should maybe, dunno, let's get the money back or something? Because it's not really the best logo change, is it? It's kind of simple and stuff. Maybe? Oh, you mean ask for the £500,000 back, or at least some of it? No. No, okay. Just thinking of people, the public, if they find out, they might be a bit peeved off that we spent all that money for them to move the dot up and change the background to blue and change the crown a bit. Yes, I see what you mean. Oh, what was that? Oh, something's happening in the office. I think you should shoo away. Away you go. Away you. Who's the man? Keir's the man. I'm the boy. Who's the man?
Afternoon all. Just a quick cheeky semi-comedy video. I'm just going to play a clip. I want you to save this somewhere. Save it in your phone. Save it so that if you're ever speaking to anybody that voted Labour, when they get their council tax bills coming through in the next few weeks, which they all will, and when they're all going to rise, I would say every single person is going to get a minimum of a 5% rise. Many will get 10% and many will get a little bit more than that. So if you know anyone who voted Labour, save this video and then show it to them in 2, 3, 4 weeks' time, whenever your bill comes through. So I'm just going to play this clip and then I'll come back to you.
I'm determined to put money back in the pockets of working people. And that's why a Labour government would freeze council tax this year. No if, no but. Labour would freeze council tax next year. And we're going to freeze council tax next year. You could rip up that council tax bill because you would not pay a penny more than you paid last year. Yes, you heard it right. Not a penny more on your council tax.
But none of those pledges in our manifesto requires increases in council tax.
No, we're not planning to reform council tax.
This is what we would do in government. Is he going to do what a Labour government would do and announce an immediate freeze in council tax bills? Yeah. We're often asked the question, when you criticise the government, what would you do? Well, we're saying what we would do. We would freeze council tax. We would freeze council tax.
They can deny it all they want, but they lied. Not just once, not just twice, multiple times. And Angela Rayner has just signed off on up to 10% increases across the board. Lies.
You know, when Keir Starmer says he's cut hospital waiting lists and doctors' waiting lists, we do know what that means, don't we? I mean, if you speak to the doctors, I know, like, why would you listen to the people that actually work in the sector? But if you speak to the doctors, they say that's not what's happening. They say they've just cancelled clinics so that you can't have a waiting list if there is no clinic, can you? So they said they found different ways to move people around and put them onto different clinics, or in fact just forget that they were ever there in the first place. So when Keir Starmer says that, it's not actually true. I mean, it's a bit like when he said he wasn't going to put the council tax up and then he did. It's not actually true. You know, when they say that you can have a free breakfast at school, you know that you can't, don't you? You know that it's taxpayer funded and it doesn't actually cover the cost of the breakfast. So it's not actually true. You know, when they said that they were beating the boats and that they were winning the war on migrants, you know that's not actually true, don't you? You know that there's more migrants coming in now than there were when the Tories were in power. You know, they said that state schools were absolutely broken and so we needed private schools to fund that. You know that they put less money into state schools than the Tories did, don't you? So you know that that's not actually true either. I mean, it sort of seems like pathological lying. It sort of seems like either they are pathological and liars, or they're completely deluded. I'd actually say both. I'd say Keir Starmer knows exactly what he's saying. He's a defence barrister, isn't he? So he's just defending his position, regardless of whether it works for you or me. He's defending Keir Starmer's position, and he's defending Rachel Reeves' position because she looks up to him like a little baby sparrow waiting for its worm, as does Bridget Phillipson. My lord, my leader. Rachel, Angela Rayner. I mean, we need to gloss on from her. So, you know, we've got Keir Starmer just defending Keir Starmer. He doesn't care, couldn't give two hoots about us, about what we think, about whether we matter. He couldn't give two hoots about the fact that all of his plans have fallen flat on their face. He's just defending Keir Starmer because in his head it works. And that's why, when he's pulled up on this by absolutely every other politician on the opposition, of course not those that sit with their little beaks open going, but when he's pulled up on it, he can't answer. He can't answer why he's made a mistake, or have you made a mistake, or what are you going to do to rectify your mistake? Because it's like, well, I haven't made one. I'm defending it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to defend it. Whether it's right or wrong, I'm just going to defend it because I'm a defence barrister, and I will go on and on and on. He's relentless. He cannot give it up. He can't see it. And even when there's a landslide win by any opposition in the next election, he'll still say it was the Tories' fault. That'll be why he lost. It won't be anything to do with him. It is classic projection. It was always their fault. It was always someone else's fault. And even now we're hearing with the local elections, well, it doesn't matter. I don't care whether people like us or not. I'm not bothered whether they like us. They've got us. So it's like, oh, okay. You will just literally knowingly carry on with your harmful policies that are eradicating slowly but surely every part of what made Great Britain great. That's what you're doing. And you'll just defend Keir Starmer until the end. I mean, it's extraordinary. It's really depressing. It is really depressing. I can't tell you how many people have said, we're off, we're going, we're upping sticks. And I think I don't want to leave. I love England. I love my family. I love being with them. My children are happy. We are all settled. It is good. But honestly, we're at the point where I think, I don't know if we can afford to stay here. I don't know if it's an option to stay here. Because every which way and how you look at it, they're coming for you. And if they're not coming for you, they're coming for a member of your family or your best mate. And every single thing they do has a direct knock-on effect on somebody else. And I just think it's, I mean, they don't want us to have choice, but it's becoming less and less about choice. They will make the decision for us. It is untenable for the majority of working people to live in this country. There, I said it, but I think it, and I'm not sorry.
The fact that this government is going after disabled people again to make savings is a total disgrace. This country has been blatantly attacking disabled people since 2010. First it was David Cameron with his bedroom taxes, and now Keir Starmer is saying they want to make more savings by going after people who are claiming disability benefits. How about we in this country for the first time go after people on the top, billionaires? Oxfam says billionaires made like £35 million a day last year. There is money in this country. Why do we keep on having to go to the people with least to pay for all these so-called austerity measures? And why are we still in austerity? It seems like there's one rule for the rich where they get to get their corporation tax cut and they keep on getting to have their offshore tax havens and whatnot. But the people who are claiming disability benefits, people who are often the most vulnerable, are the ones that the government decides, yes, we want to go after you.
Has there ever been a bigger liar than Keir Starmer? You know, the one that says things on purpose. I was looking at a poll this morning and it's saying only 20% of people still trust him, 60% of people don't trust him, and the rest are still unsure. They'll change their mind. But here's why. So he was on the BBC News, I think it was the BBC, doing this report. And he's from this lovely kitchen. There you go. Looks like his kitchen. And then, later on, there's this propaganda that comes out talking about this £150 saving for families up and down the country, and he was interviewing this lady and she was saying what a great job he was doing. Well, look at the kitchen, it's the same one. That is his kitchen, and she's an actor. Let me show you the other photograph. Look at those black and white tiles, and look, you can see a little wicker basket at the top. Check this out. It's the same kitchen. So he's a liar. So that interview that he did with the woman, this one, she wasn't a member of the public. She was an actress. doing exactly what she was being told to do and say how great he was doing. And it's £150 a year saving, some bullshit, is going to make the world of difference. So, those of you that voted in Labour, this is what you get. An absolute two-faced liar that stands for nothing. Anyway, did any of you watch his actual interview on the BBC? You know, that left-wing propaganda arm of the media. Billy bullshit.
But the majority of the people in these boats are children, babies and women who have been...
No, they're not. Cabinet Minister Darren Jones just claimed live on Question Time that most channel migrants in the UK are women and babies. Is he having a fucking laugh? Does he think we're all that stupid? A quick Google search, literally the thousands of images online, will tell you that this isn't true. This just shows you how out of touch the people are that run this country. Or the fact that they think we're stupid and will literally believe anything that they say. An insult to the people of this country, sweeping problems under the rug and literally pretending that they do not exist. Literally 90% of these channel migrants are young adult males. This is a fact. We can see this for ourselves, let alone the official statistics. Literally just bullshitting the people for a living. And people have the cheek to say that Reform aren't fit to be a political party. Come on. This lot need to be gone. Absolutely ridiculous. Let me know what you think of this in the comments.
So I'm watching GB News again. And after Reform won these councils, Keir Starmer's obviously going everywhere saying the same bullshit that he always spouts on about, the fucking absolute bullshitter. We know what you need. We understand that the country need help and blah, blah, blah. And we're pushing faster and further and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Starmer, you've been in power for long enough to have fucking made a change, mate. And all you've done is made this country worse. You are anti-English. You don't give a shit about no one in this country. You sell us out continuously. You take our money. You fucking punish fucking old people, vulnerable people, fucking people that need it. You take the money off the people that fucking work their arse off and you give it to the people that sit on their arse and do fuck all. You send it over to different countries when our country's in need. Have you seen the homeless in our country? Have you seen the poverty in our country? Do something in our country, mate. This is why you're losing fucking votes. People have had enough. They've all gone over to Reform. You know, stop banging on, you fucking little rat. You're fucking winding me up, mate. Your fucking voice is annoying. You look like a fucking wet blanket, mate. You're fucking boring. You don't do shit. You're an absolute fucking bullshitter. And everybody's picked up on it. Everybody knows already. So fucking step down. Step down. Fuck off. Your fucking cronies, Rachel Reeves, Raynar, fucking whoever that fucking Yvette Cooper, Lammy, fucking Ed, the fucking absolute nutter Miliband. We've had enough, mate. Fucking step down. The only thing, maybe a saving grace of Labour would be if you fucked off and give someone else a fucking chance. Because remember, the Labour Party's meant to be for the working class. You ain't a Labour Party anymore. You've took that from the working class and you fucking destroyed it. Now look at you. Look at you now. You rat.
Sorry, whilst all this is going on, Starmer's been doing what he does best and fucking up. Starmer made Madelson US envoy despite warning from security services as PM faces meltdown. In case you haven't known, he was best mates with Epstein. Starmer really does like to associate with a few people that have some connections like that, don't he? Let's have a look. So Rodney finally acted to sack the peer this morning after excruciating cache of messages emerged that he sent to Notorious. That word, our old boy Jeff. Responding to Sky News revealing the reservations expressed by security service, Downing Street insisted vetting was done at the departmental level with no number 10 involvement. Well, he didn't do such a great job there, did it? The dramatic departure of Lord Mandelson throws the government deeper into chaos just a week before Trump's state visit. Oh boy, after what happened with Kirk and all this kind of stuff, I feel like some things are going to be happening. especially after what happened on Saturday as well. But anyway, it's just 6 days since Keir conducted a panicky reshuffle triggered by Angela Rayner resigning over her tax affairs amid claims the Premier is lurching from crisis to crisis. And it is. And it's brilliant to see. The fact is as well, Keir, mate, you've got a few connections with these people. You've got a few dodgy connections. You're letting everyone in. Labour Party, there's a website. Go and look it up. People can put it in the comments. You can look up, it's something like Labour 52 or something. You can see all the people on the Labour councils who have involvement in that kind of thing that Uncle Epstein did. Let's see what else it says. So he now faces mounting questions about his judgment, with even Labour MPs warning the party is stained at the very top. Bloomberg News said details of the newly uncovered emails had been sent from Lord Mandelson for comment on Monday, but the Premier continued to voice full confidence in him at PMQs yesterday. But someone made me aware on here that even though he's been sacked from this, he's still going to have his position where he basically makes all these laws. He isn't actually... There's no change. He's just been sacked from the Prime Minister for being like the American, whatever the fuck it is, that talks to the Americans. But there he is. He's having a right little laugh, isn't he? Strange.
What in the broken Britain? The Labour Party have now got the lowest approval rating ever. Bullshit is this. Let me show you this graph. I think it's from YouGov. Look at that. There's a disapproval rate of 69%. Now, the shocking thing is, look at that blue line. There's an approval rate of 13%. Now, I'm not entirely sure how those two figures add up, but this is the worst government ever. And there's still another 3 years left of them. Is there going to be anything left? Is there any way, anything we can do to get them out before the general election? Because I kid you not, there's going to be nothing left. Oh, I'm just walking. Have a look at this. Have you seen all those St George's flags people have been painting on things like that? Well, there's none here. It's a shame Wilco's has closed down because they might have had some red paint. But yes, the country are definitely fighting back. I've not seen many of these Union Jacks and St George's flags where I am, but I'm sure they'll be popping up soon. But what do you think about that? Keir Starmer's government are the most hated ever.
What went wrong? How did this happen? How can anyone vote for reform? They're racist. They're fascist. Wah, wah, wah. And how do you lot keep voting for a party that's literally failed every single time it's been trusted with power? Labour, a party that promised growth but delivered tax hikes, promised lower energy bills and jacked them up, promised immigration reform and delivered record crossings and £1 billion in refugee benefits. A party that's alienated farmers, hammered small businesses and made working actually less worthwhile than being on benefits. And yet, reform are the ones being questioned who've never even been in power. This is a government in Labour that governs like it's in opposition, full of excuses, empty slogans, and absolutely no spine. The change they promised, more of the same, more net zero madness, more mass migration, more public sector blow, and a tax system so broke that young people don't even see the point in getting out of bed for entry-level wages. And you will bleat on, it was the Tories. Well, Labour preceded them by 13 years. And when you ask questions, when you dare to challenge that narrative, you're labelled a bigot. Yet they've racked up a 170 billion deficit again. It's gaslighting on a national scale. Private schools are shutting, businesses are cutting staff, millionaires are quietly leaving because they can see where this is heading. And ordinary people, they are being told to just swallow it, pay up, shut up, and clap for policies that are quite literally wrecking this country. And the left have the gall to ask, how did this happen? Completely incapable of looking at the party you support as the actual problem. And just like your party, it's always someone else's fault. Labour are bleeding credibility. Their own MPs are turning on disability reforms. They want wealth taxes, not wealth creators. They genuinely believe public spending is the engine of growth, that net zero will somehow save the economy, and that GDP relies on endless immigration. It's been proven it doesn't work. It's delusion. And what do? They accuse reform of being dangerous, authoritarian, extreme. It's Labour handing 5-year taxpayer-funded rent guarantees to landlords for housing migrants. It's Labour centralising power, silencing dissent and steamrolling criticism as hate. And what's even funnier is most of the dimwits can't even see that the renters bill that was put in place was to force landlords into sales, and magically the government come along with these contracts to house migrants. Can you not put 2 and 2 together? If anything, the real warning here isn't about reform, it's about Labour, a party that's done this before. A short stint, big promises, economic chaos, booted out. Do people even understand that the population of this country from 1970 to 1997 rose by 3 million? From 1997 to today, it's rose by 11.2 million. Do you not understand where the problem is? So no, people aren't voting for fascists. They're just done voting for utter failures.
Do not let anybody tell you that our Labour government are nothing but liars and making things up on the spot. This next video is going to expose David Lammy in the House of Commons for lying directly to MPs, and he gets called out on it. Now, he's either completely incompetent or he's a barefaced liar, or somewhere in between the two. This is unbelievable. Watch it and listen carefully.
In the event that Iran does launch a retaliatory military strike against the US, what does the government believe our Article 5 obligations would be with regards to military support for the US, and how will that change if the location of the attack is in the region? Well, can I refer him to 213 of the Ministerial Code?
213. Remember that number.
In the statement earlier today, I asked the Foreign Secretary, in the event that Iran does launch a retaliatory military strike against the US, what does the government believe our Article 5 obligations would be with regards to military support for the US, and how would that change if the location of the attack was in the region? Just a few minutes after asking this question, Iran launched an air attack against US bases in Qatar and Iraq. The Foreign Secretary evaded providing a coherent response by referring me to 213 of the Ministerial Code. In the current version of the Ministerial Code, published on the 6th of November 2024, there is no 213 of the Ministerial Code. Chapter 2 finishes at 27. Could I seek the Deputy Speaker's advice in understanding why the Foreign Secretary is misleading the House by quoting made-up references to the Ministerial Code to avoid scrutiny?
So there you have it. One of these two things are true. He's either a barefaced liar, which means he shouldn't be in the Houses of Parliament or anywhere near governing this country, or he's incompetent, which means he shouldn't be anywhere near the Houses of Commons or in government running this country. That is what we're doing. Now, if he can stand there and lie to a member of the House of Parliament when they've got the facts and figures in front of them, imagine what they can do to us, normal, everyday people. They are not fit for purpose. What in the lying government, Keir Starmer should be called Pinocchio, staged bullshit is this? I've said for a while people need to go and follow Keir Starmer over on X, or the Labour Party, because none of them read the room. So anyway, he posted this. I don't know if it was yesterday or today. Nicola is a single mother to 3 children. She works hard to provide for her family, and it's important to me that we help people like her with the cost of living. We're supporting millions more families with £150 off their energy bills, creating jobs for people. Sounds good, yeah? And then have a look at the community notes that people can add. This video is entirely staged with Nicola being an actress, Abby Raworth. The kitchen shown in the backdrop has been used in multiple Labour Party interviews and videos in the past. Nicola is therefore not a grateful member of the public, but an actress. Now, don't tell me that Elon Musk didn't save the world when he bought Twitter, because it's things like that that catch the governments out. They're liars. It's all staged. It's all fake. But you've got to go and follow them, because it's so funny reading the comments section of anything that these guys post. There's nothing positive to say about them. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. And it's for things like this. Barefaced lies. Mr. Pinocchio. I didn't lie on purpose. I didn't know Nicola was an actress. You need to step down and let somebody else try and run the country, because you're clearly failing on every single metric.
honestly, massive thanks for all the bloody likes on that last post, and I'm gonna give you another one today because I've absolutely had enough of Labour scum and some things that are circulating around social media and being on telly. I think I watched this. I don't really watch Sky. I watch GB News. I don't watch Sky News, but I did watch Sky News and going on about Brexit. So I'm gonna do this dead short for you, right? So they're lying to you, right? So number one, at the minute, and I'm not that clever on TikTok to do all bits and pieces with like important video like pictures and stuff like that. But if you just Google migrants in Paris, right? So what's happening is, this isn't about race. I've got absolutely tons of friends who are different colours, different religions. This is just about basic stuff. If I want to move to Australia, I'm too old, they won't let me, and I'm not skilled enough, right? That's great. So I'm not going to Australia. I'm not going to turn up there. I'm not going to expect, I'm not going to be asked to be doing anything differently. So basically, they're working their way all through the EU, which apparently, because we've left Brexit, it's something to do with, we've got this migrant crisis after Brexit. Absolute bollocks, right? It's a complete lie. So the streets of Paris basically get cleaned, and the police come in and they take them all, and they take them to Calais, or they take them to these ports so they can jump onto dinghies in our country. So we're, for some reason, clearing up all of France's mess and Euro mess for some bizarre reason. We have absolutely nothing to do and not legal requirement to do it, but we are doing it, and I don't know why, because he's just soft, weak, or there's backhanders or something like that, or we have a different attitude. I have no idea. But it's causing absolute carnage. It's causing civil unrest, and for some bizarre reason, they seem to like it. So they're lying here. Don't listen to them. Google migrant crisis in Paris and make your own decision. There's also a girl who's been looking at all these boats. Apparently they're stopping the boats. The boats are still there, and they're getting recycled, and they're getting sent back over to France, man. Honestly, getting taken for mugs, and they think we're daft. And honestly, well done on the people for Epping who's turn around and say not paying the council tax. Well done, yous, and honestly, we're all 100% behind you.
Hey, lovely people. I'm sure most of us can tell the difference between incompetence and evil, and I'm sure we've encountered both. But I've seldom seen the combination of incompetence and evil at such a level as we're currently experiencing under this Labour government in the United Kingdom. In my 61 years, I've lived through some incredibly shitty governments. I grew up in South Africa under the national government supporting and enhancing apartheid. But they were not incompetent. They were evil. And since I've moved to the UK, I've lived through John Major, a raft of people that include Liz Truss and Boris Johnson. But I have never come across the combination of evil and incompetence that is encapsulated in the front bench of this current Labour regime. And in particular, what I want to bring to your attention is this attempt, this bill that went through Parliament yesterday to prescribe Palestine action. And here's what I think a lot of people probably don't know, because they know, perhaps if you're in the UK and you might have heard outside the UK, that there's this effort to prescribe, to effectively criminalize a direct action group that are trying to stop the genocide in Palestine. But what this government has done, and this is why it's incompetence, evil, and deception and gaslighting that make me hate them more than any government I've hated ever. And bear in mind, I lived through George W. Bush, is they added to that bill 2 small, violent neo-Nazi organizations as a lump sum. So when you're asked to prescribe these organizations, you're being asked as a member of parliament and then up to the House of Lords to prescribe 3 organizations, 2 of which, of course, deserve to be prescribed, and where Palestine Action has been deliberately lumped in by our government to make it very hard to vote against this bill, because then you're voting against the prescription of 2 violent neo-Nazi organizations. And this is what I'm trying to get at here, is that we, the people of the United Kingdom in particular, but there's an effect globally on this, particularly in the Middle East, is that we are being asked to live under a regime that is fronted by Firstly, Zionists. The entire front bench is funded and supported and members of Labour Friends of Israel. But not only that, a prime minister who is the most vacuous, vapid cipher of a man with the moral centre of a plate of jelly, who seems to take it as his personal job to suck up to oligarchs, Trump and Zionists. So in addition to my usual cursing of these awful people, I'm calling for not just a vote of no confidence in Keir Starmer, because he's just going to be replaced by some other fuckwit. I am calling for a general election and support for Jeremy Corbyn or Zach Polanski as the new leader of the British people and the UK. And as always, from the river to the sea, Palestine must and will be free. And we are all Palestine action. Fuck Israel.
People. Keir Starmer put a thing out on X this morning saying Labour had removed 30,000 people since he came into power. It's a lie. They're not illegals. They haven't been served with the 151A. They're people that have come to port and been refused entry as a visitor. We used to do it all the time. He's a liar. An absolute liar. And I've called him out on it. So if he tells me that 30,000 people that have been served with the 151A, which means you're illegal entrant, have been removed since they came into power, it's not possible. It's just not possible. That means 84 people a day. That's a lie. Don't be drawn in by his lies. Yet another lie. And Ellen DeGeneres said she got rid of her American passport. She can't, because her stay to the United Kingdom is stamped in her passport. She came as a visitor. She didn't have a visa to settle, so she'd have to leave to go and get a visa to settle. You can't get it in country, so she's a liar as well. Okay, she can't just say she's not American. That doesn't work like that. So let's watch this space, should we?
So, here's the uncomfortable truth. It's not just one man, one party, or one manifesto. It's a system that rewards talkers over doers, spin over substance, and image over integrity. Keir Starmer came in as the man who'd restore faith in politics. But since then, he's scrapped his £28 billion Green Plan, backed away from workers' rights, and dodged questions on Gaza, migration, and tax reform. Even Labour supporters admit they don't really know what he stands for anymore. And that's dangerous, because when both major parties sound the same, people stop believing anyone can change things. That's how hopelessness creeps in, and how broken Britain becomes the new normal. But it doesn't have to stay this way. If Starmer truly wants to rebuild trust, he needs to. Checkmarks speak honestly, even when it's unpopular. Deliver clear plans, not PR soundbites. Remember that leadership isn't about managing optics. It's about fighting for people who've stopped believing in politics altogether. Because right now, people aren't asking for perfection. They're asking for truth. They're tired of being told change is coming, while their bills rise, their pay stalls, and their hope disappears. So whether it's blue or red, Tory or Labour, if the system keeps lying, people will keep losing. And no rebrand, no photo op, and no slogan will fix that. You've been watching Brit Rants, where we say what everyone's thinking, while the politicians pretend it's fine. If you're fed up with the lies, drop your rant in the comments, share this video, and let's make sure the next election isn't just another con dressed as change. Because this isn't just party politics anymore, this is broken Britain, and the biggest lie of all is that anyone's fixing it.